I don't think that people realize exactly how serious it can be. And it is hard to fathom it until you're sitting in an ICU room. So, but people need to know the reality of it. And I think that's really important. She got COVID, and at first I just thought she was just gonna be sick, I didn't really think anything was gonna happen. She's 52 and she has no underlying health issues at all. And at first she was sick, and then it didn't get better. I had tried to get a hold of her that whole entire morning, and I couldn't get in touch with her, and that's really weird for my mom. She texts me every morning and every night, so when I didn't hear from her, I knew something was wrong. And I rushed to her house, and she wasn't making much sense at all, and I could physically see her chest going up and down. And so I rushed her to Valdez, and by the time that I got her there, her oxygen was at 49. Extremely sick. I didn't realize exactly how bad it was until I seen her. And from Valdez, they brought her here, and she was here 56 days. And then she got released from here to an LTAC facility where she currently is. Later that day, around 11 o'clock, I got the call to come put my mom on the ventilator that same day. I can't brag enough on the staff. I mean, they went over and beyond as far as taking care of her, because these patients are in here, and now they can have a visitor a day, but at the time, they couldn't. And, so they were the only ones here for my mom at certain points in her journey. They played music for her in her room. They checked on her. One day she got upset over my grandma, and I just picked up the phone and called them, and I was like, well, somebody just go sit in there with her. And they did that often. I mean, they just sat there and held her hand and talked her through it, because at that point, they're kind of like family. It's a lot to see, your mom laying there with a tube down her throat and all these stickers all over her, and it's not an easy thing. And you're talking to someone who can't talk back, I mean, she can hear you, but you're having a conversation with yourself somewhat, so it's difficult. At one point in time, whenever she got on the vent, they gave her 2 chest tubes because both of her lungs had completely collapsed. And her x-ray was not looking good. It just wasn't. And we didn't know what was gonna happen. But I have a lot of faith in the big man. So I think that was, you pray, because that's really the only hope you have at some points in time, really, in all reality. Out of my 2 grandparents, my grandfather was vaccinated and my grandma was not. And he never got sick, but she didn't make it. People need to take precautions, they just do. My mom actually FaceTimed me and told me specifically in this interview to tell people to get vaccinated from her, because she doesn't want anybody else to go through what she's been through. She doesn't, and it's awful. Like, it is awful.